So when I started getting so frustrated, and I remember being so stressed out, actually there's this one day nilikuwa nimetoka job from KU all the way to Kawendani. I used to walk because I couldn't even afford ati kuchukua boda ama kupanda gari. So as I was walking, I remember my mom called me kuniuliza, kwani kunaendaje? What is really happening with Jay? Kwani hizi deals haziwork? Hebu chunguza. So I was, yani nikaanza kuwa skeptical. Then when I got home, nikaambia Jay, by the time mamangu, kuna vile na feel labda watu wanakudanganya. And then I'm really careful not to show him that ni yeye na doubt. Namwambia mimi na doubt hao watu mimi nawashuku. Hao watu, I never wanted him to see that I'm being like judgmental towards him, like ni kama ni yeye na judge. So ningemwambia hivyo, then na yeye ako like, mazebe, true. Watu hata mimi siwaamini. I want to know shida iko wapi. So there's this lady mwenye sasa was introduced via Facebook. This guy created a fake Facebook account with the name Susan Joki. So Susan Joki, she was supposed to be my rival because this guy had taken my phone, gone through my phone, and especially conversations with my roommate, who was also my very good friend at the time. And alikuwa amesoma, unajua kuna zile siri una share with your roommate, you know, about maybe your first encounter with your boyfriend, or just stories. Kuna vitu tu unaambia roommate wako na yeye mwenyewe anajua, naye pia anajua. So ikakuwa yani Susan Joki ananiambia, that bitch you call your friend, si anaishi huku, si anaishi place fulani, si wewe ushaikuwa engage na mse, mshaifanya hivi na mtu, like very deep secrets zenye huwezi share just anyone. It's only your roommate who knows. This lady knew about them, and she was like, you know what, I'm just after, I want Jay. You took my boyfriend, you took my man, I'm going to take everything from you, I'm coming for you. And ilikuwa inafeel kama movie. I couldn't understand, like, who is this lady? I've always wanted peace with everyone. All of a sudden, mtu anakuja tu ako against me because of Jay. So I talked to Jay, and then Jay is like, I want dem fulani nilikuwa nafanya hizi deals zenye nafanya na wewe before, and we dated kidogo alafu tukaachana because she wasn't really good at what she was doing. Hawakumpenda, hawakumtaka. But at some point wakaanza kumchukua, but sasa walikuwa washamaliza kudate. So like he just gave me a story about how they broke up, and you know, venye she's still in the picture, she's jealous, nini. So Jay then tells me that amepiga research na ameulizwa tu always, alafu amemwambia ati Susan Joki ndio wamemreplace na mimi. Ati Susan Joki went to their offices, Susan Joki did this and that. So wao ndio amewachukua, and that is how I was able to lose all those deals zenye nilikuwa nimepata before. So Jay now starts telling me that usijali hata kama hazija work out, there's a backup plan. My sister ana work UNICEF. Then akaniambia that, you know, UNICEF, they are looking for a public speaker. This guy knew that I was into public speaking because basically I tell most people that when they ask me, ukoje confident? So I just tell them, mimi niko nafanya public speaking nikiwa high school, and in Form 4 I was number 1 nationally. So this guy knew that akiniambia that UNICEF want me to talk about something, then I would believe it because of my background and the fact that I know I have something to show for what I had done before. So nili-emailiwa na a guy called Sheikh Omar or something of the sort, apparently who was the spokesperson of UNICEF. This guy tells me to write niliandika speech ya public speaking, and the title was How to Eradicate Poverty in Africa. Like I literally sat and really wrote hiyo kitu yote in Kiswahili. You can imagine, like, hoja ya kwanza, hoja ya pili ni hii, hoja ya tatu ni hii. I literally had to do that, and I even printed knowing that, you know what, yeah, I'm going to be performing. And I see that one was not even enough. This sheikh tells me that you will also be performing alongside a young girl who sijui is disabled or something of the sort, and you know UNICEF is mostly for children. So ako like huyu mtoto pia ana represent. So I remember the word that they used, a 8-year-old sensational girl, something of the sort, to convince me that indeed this was going to work out. And I was really going to ace it. Yani alikuwa ameniambia wewe tunakuaminia. This speech is beautiful. It's amazing. I hope uko na passport. So the passport issue then comes up again, and I'm asking this guy, yo manze, kuliendaje, what happened? So umsi akaniambia tuende sides za Jogoo Road. First of all tuoneka tutapata the certificate of good conduct, alafu pia akaniambia pia uko ndio tunafaa kuendea the passport as well. So we get there and he enters into a bank here, I think Barclays, and then he says that uko pia ndio anataka kuchukua do aone kama wamemtumia pesa kidogo. Oh yeah, I also didn't tell you guys why this guy was apparently broke and not having any money. Then as to why hakuwa nayo, because the brother-in-law was in prison for drug trafficking, and since walikuwa wamefanya some transactions, then that meant that he didn't have any money because all his accounts were frozen. So I knew hakuwa na pesa, but alishinda akiniambia ni kama mamake amemtumia kitu achaende kwa bank angalie. We went to Barclays, I think it was in Westlands, yeah. Tukaenda huko, anaingia kwa bank, anatoka anasema hakuna kitu, ime backfire. Then we go to Jogoo Road, remember tukipanda matatu, then anaingia hivi. So when he entered, I decided to call the sister Becky. Nikasema si nilikuwa hapo na na simu, nikasema hebu nipigie hii namba ya Becky nijue story ni gani. Kupiga hivi, it's a guy who answered, and then the guy is like, wewe ni nani? So when Jay came, namwambia Becky simu yake ni kama Charlie ameshika. So he takes the phone and says hebu nimpigie. So anapiga namba fulani and then anamuuliza Becky, mbona hii simu yako saa zote nikipiga inaenda kwa wrong number, ati inaenda kwa Charlie, mbona inafanyanga hivyo? So you can imagine, like, I'm like, it's something that happens, but imesolviwa. I didn't really understand. I was like, it's okay, it's cool. So tukiwa huko UNICEF, they start frustrating me. Sasa ananiambia, kama utakuwa umeleta by kesho, we are removing you from the list. Look for money and get your passport. Look for money, get your certificate of good conduct. We need you to do this, we need you to do this. Then sasa at that time, I start calling my mom. Alafu naanza kumwambia, mom, manze, I don't know what's happening, but umse ananiambia hivi, lakini hakuna kitu ina come through, nifanye nini? So my mom would be like, usijali, ebu uliza daddy. My mom was so confused. I remember she was so stressed out, and like I didn't even know what to do. And at that time nilikuwa nimeomba my best friend pesa pia. So my BFF ananicall, she was Melan from Mombasa. We were very close in Mombasa together. So I call her and then I'm trying to explain to her how bad the situation is, and nielewe that sina do at the time. Nilikuwa nimemuomba, like, no, but babe, you told me by this day utakuwa umenirudishia. I remember that time nilikuwa namuongelesha. I'm so frustrated. At the same time my mom is trying to talk to me, and my best friend just couldn't understand. Like, she thought I was lying to her or something. Because nile nimetoka kumwambia how excited I am about going to other countries and shooting and having such an amazing time, and having all these experiences with new companies. Alafu all of a sudden I'm like, siwezi atamlipa deni yake ya 3,000 at the point that I knew I didn't even have anything. So that point is when now she called me. Akaniambia, by the way, I don't understand why you're doing this. Sielewi, I'm your BFF. Mbona usiniambia ukweli? And I'm like, I'm telling you the truth. I am really being honest. I talked to my mom. She's like, she doesn't understand what is going on. And the whole point, like, I had not told them that I was living with this guy. So hawajui. I remember how excited my dad was. Sorry. I remember how excited my dad was when I told him about all these deals happening, all these deals coming through for me. He was really excited about them. But when they called me nikiwa pale Jogoo Road, when these UNICEF guys were so pressuring me up, I remember breaking down and I'm like, please guys, just give me time. I don't know what's happening, but I know it's okay. And then this guy tells me, UNICEF, so wako fiti, so unajua na wameku email, so mbona usiamini, kila kitu iko sawa, kila kitu iko set, don't worry about it. So at that point is where I think the pressure now became too much, and it's like I couldn't really understand. Like, even my own mom, she got to a point where she doesn't even believe what I'm saying. My dad was confused. My best friend, I was losing people at that point. I was losing my close associates. I was losing people at work. I was losing everybody. And at that moment, nile najua kabisa, I'm holding on to hope that is not even there. It's not even existent. Haiko. Ni kama, I was just confused. So we go back to the house. And then this guy tells me that, you know what, hata usijali, hiyo deal ya UNICEF nimeambiwa iko locked na everything is going to work out. We just have to be patient, kila kitu itakuwa sawa. So I'm just patient, and then the next day, tukafika place yenye sasa hatuongelele hizo story sana. But I was able to actually get closer now with this fake sister mwenye anaitwa Christabel. And Christabel will tell me that, guess what, my brother amekununulia gari na offshore account. And now I'm like, okay, sawa, finally something nice in the middle of chaos. So alafu namuuliza inakaaje ni nini. I already told this guy that my dream is to own a BMW convertible, yellow. I think I told him that, in the middle of sharing my secrets, my oversharing habits. So this lady tells me that hiyo gari shananuliwa, nimeona picha, and I'm believing it, and I know that something positive is coming. I remember praying and praying and praying and telling God that I know that behind all this chaos, you're working something out. You're really doing it for me, you know. I was really excited, and I knew that somehow things are going to work out. So at some point, sasa ikakuwa hizi deals venye hazi materialize. Now the fault became mine. The fact that sipati pesa. Ati sipati pesa fulani, sipati pesa ya kumalizia nini, the passport, sipati pesa ya kupata your certificate of good conduct. The money is not enough to get a good work permit. The money is not enough. And I've borrowed everyone I could think of. So this guy made it look like mimi ndio nilikuwa na hiyo makosa. I remember wanani frustrate, wananiambia, if you're not ready, you just tell us so that we can give this room to someone else. If you're not ready to get us the money that we want, wacha basi tu tupatie mse mwingine, wacha turudishe Susan Joki into it. Hey, I was like, okay, sasa nitafanya nini? It was a really tough moment for me, and I think the point where it really damaged me a lot is to know that I still have to host, I still have to do what I'm supposed to do. I remember CRB walikuwa shani contact telling me that I have 10 days, I should have cleared my loans. They were still piling up and nothing is materializing. So I'm hoping for that one deal that comes and saves the day. But again, hata ikikuja, ilikuwa ni kama it was useless. So I think when this guy saw how frustrated I was, akaamua kunionyesha kwamba something is happening. I get a message from the mother saying that saizi wamekuwa released kule kwa police station, so everything is going to be okay and we should look for the next house yenye tutahamia. We go to a certain house. This guy asked me, so tutaipaint aje, kwa rangi gani? And you know, I had already selected all the colors in the world. I literally had put money aside for that particular thing. Ati hii nitakopa tu specifically because najua sasa imebakisha kidogo tu kila kitu iko sawa. Because sasa it's not the deals. What is happening is that Jay sasa accounts zake zitafunguliwa and sasa do zitakuja, so I shouldn't be worried. He's going to clear all those debts because apparently akona do. But all these things were to buy him more time so that ndio aendelee kukaa kwangu, ndio aendelee ku devise new ways. Even when this one is not working, he will show me that, you know what, ingine ndio hii inakuja. Usi worry, usijali, kila kitu iko sawa. Everything is going to be fine. You don't worry. So now when I was supposed to actually go for a show with KUTV tukiwa na Shaban, and that is when I think I came to find out how this guy was manipulating me. That particular journey that I took to Kitale yenye tulifaa kuhost show fulani there Watare na Shaban, tulikuwa na show yenye tulifaa kuenda na kuipiga because, you know, we were already doing well on TV. So there's that show that I was supposed to go to, and during that journey is when I realized that this guy was not who I thought he was, because for the first time I was away from the house and away from an environment where he could easily con me by just looking at me and knowing what I wanted to hear. So this particular event tulifaa kwenda kuhost Kitale. I remember they were supposed to give us an allowance, a certain amount of money yenye tulifaa. Unajua kama tunatoka nje lazima mpe pesa kidogo yenye mnafaa kutumia. So the previous night Mama J had actually told me that wamama wenye wako na wao ni nini, one of them kwa chama yao atantumia sum of 70,000 yenye inafaa kunisaidia ku clear debts, because hizi debts zilikuwa zinachungulia almost 150,000. Like I was really at a bad place, and hii ni pesa yenye ni loans everywhere. Imefika place hata siwezi kopa kitu, siwezi fanya anything. Hata ukiomba pesa inakatwa tu mahali, inakatwa tu from somewhere. So she tells me that mama rafiki yake atanitumia 70,000. So I was really positive hata tukienda, nilikuwa like hiyo pesa kwanza ingie tu nikiwa huko Kitale, nijibambe. You know, you have all these hopes. The hopes that I had in my heart, and you know that excitement of knowing that something is really going to work. Alafu yani kijangili kinajua kwa akili hakuna kitu iko hapo. So tukiwa hapo kwa gari on our way there, because hatuko tumepewa the allowance money. Sasa nikaanza kujiambia, because you know the mom even gave me a certain number kusema ati ndio tutapigia huyo madhe mwenye anafaa kupatia do fulani the 70,000. So on the way there tukielekea Kitale, I was like, sasa Georgia tupatia allowance, hebu njaribu kupigia huyu mama nisikie. When I called, it was a certain lady who picked, and she's like, who are you? Wewe ni nani? Jay, mimi simjui, mimi hata siko Kisumu, mimi niko Machakos. Like, what are you talking about? So nikakata simu, nikapigia Jay nikamuuliza, manze, kwani kunaendaje? How come umadhe ashiki simu, anashika simu lakini anasema haelewi mimi ni nani na hajui mama Jay ni nani? So Jay was very mad, alikuwa angry. Like, mbona unaongea mambo ya familia kwa gari ya job? Then I'm like, wait a minute, as in, mbona una jam? It's not such a big deal. So mbona alikuwa anakasirika? I couldn't really understand. So it's like he realized I'm overdue your reaction. So he called, and then I said, pole baby. Imagine nimecall ni kama nilikuwa imeenda kwa wrong number, but amesema atatuma sani yake kesho aende kudeposit hiyo do kwa account, ataenda kudeposit kwa TRM. So I'm like okay. So Shabani yeye tuko hapo na yeye ananiambia huyu mtu wako huyo ana methali, huyu ni mtu wa hadithi nyingi. Because he's not someone to even talk much. Sasa ndio mtu wako ana hadithi kweli, ana hadithi nyingi. Nikasema kama ana hadithi, lakini wacha tuone kutaenda vipi. So when I was in Kitale, I remember ilikuwa I think I'll share that picture when I was in Kitale, that particular place yenye tulikuwa tumeenda kununua hizi bags zenye huwa wanazishona. I remember that place is when he texted actually and said that, but there's something I need you to know. Until then you realize that everything was so easy. I didn't know what he meant, but in my mind I was just a bit worried. I talked to Labana, akaniambia, hata mimi simuelewi lakini acha tungoje. I remember tukaenda sokoni na kina Shaban, you know, we were interviewing people were like, mnapenda kuwatch show gani? Kwa like ile ya Watare ile, like ndio mimi Watare na Shaban, you know, we were just having a really good time there. Tukafika sokoni, and then this guy calls me Jay, and then he's like, ile deal yetu ya always nasikia Susan Jokea amepokonywa, wewe ndio unapewa, lakini unataka tuwapatie 20,000 ndio wa secure hiyo deal vizuri. Mimi nikamwambia watu waambie walambe lolo, mimi sitoi pesa nyingine na sitoi pesa nyingine. But as I was saying that, in my heart I was really scared. Nilikuwa nimeanza kushikwa na baridi fulani, because I'm like, wait, why is everything leading back to money? Inamaanisha kwamba hakuna kitu ambacho kinaweza fanyika bila huyu mtu kuniitisha pesa. So nikaanza tu hiyo uoga pole. Uoga ikaanza kunishika. Stress inaanza tu kunipanda. Nikakuwa I'm still in denial, like sitaki kuamini, sitaki ku believe that really, like as in nimekoniwa, like what, like for all this time, what about the mom, what about the sisters, what about the brother-in-law, what about everyone else? As in there has to be an explanation, there has to be something. Lazima kuna issue tu mahali, lazima kukona shida fulani, haiwezi kuwa ati nimepigwa tu character development design. But Nikiendelea hivyo ndio nikapigia my dad, ndio nikamwambia aki dad, sijui ni nini ina happen. And then my dad is like, na unajua tulimpatia account details, ID, pia yeye akona zako zote. This guy alikuwa hata anajua pin yangu, because I think he was really careful kuona nikifinya simu ni mtu wa kuchungulia kujua kwamba hivi ndio amefanya But I think the most difficult part was having to tell my dad that this guy was actually staying with me in the house, because hiyo ilikuwa ngumu sana. I was like, wow, how am I going to tell my dad? I'm just 20. I'm barely even, yani nimetoka tu 18, nimeingia tu campus juzi. How am I supposed to start explaining how nimedanganywa? So when I took the phone, I remember I went to the washroom. Ilikuwa mall gani hapo Eldoret. I went to the washroom and nilikuwa tense, that tension, like nini inaenda kusema, because at that point was when sasa nikaanza kujua hapa ninakoniwa. And then the worst part, the people there were not even making things better. Juu sasa nilikuwa nimeketi nao wasee hapo, tulikuwa tumeketi just a group of people. I started telling them what is really happening, like hata mimi nishaikoniwa hivyo, huyo anakukon. But they didn't really know the intensity ya kukoniwa ilikuwa inakaaje. They started sharing their stories there, nini, and I'm like, uko serious? So hapo ndio nikarealize, oh my goodness, as in it's at that moment I realized that things are not the way I thought they were. So wakani encourage that you have to talk to your dad or someone, because at this point you're not even in your right minds, hata hujui ufanye nini. So I went to the washroom, called my dad. I remember shaking. I remember my hands ilikuwa zinatingika hivi, hata sikuwa naweza kushikilia simu vizuri. I was really scared. And then I called him, and then I told him, hey daddy, sijui kumeendaje. I don't know, but I think umsi amekuwa akinikona. It's like, na nilijua tu, I had a feeling, but now he was so disappointed. And I was like, how do I break the news to him that this guy is the guy I've been dating, supposedly dating, and also moved in with. Uni mtu mwenye alikuwa anavaa sweatpants zangu na t-shirt. Hakuwa hata na nguo hata moja. Uni mtu mwenye alikuwa anakaa kwangu sasa, ni kama yeye ndio the man of the house. Yani ni mtu tulikuwa tuna argue kama watu wako kwa relationship, So breaking that news to my dad, that was the most devastating. And I remember asking him to forgive me. I remember telling him that nimeomba msamaha hata kwa Mungu. And I'm really disappointed in myself that I stooped that low as to live with him and to house him and to believe him. But my dad, I think a dad ni dad too. That's when I think even our bond with my dad can grow even stronger, because he told me that, you know what, my daughter, umetuacha with almost nothing. Pesa zote umetuomba, your mom hata hana chochote, mimi sina chochote, umetuacha na 1000 peke yake, tuko kanisani, lakini it was on a Sunday. Akasema sasa natoka church, kama unaelekea Nairobi na mimi nitakuwa natoka na Nyuki nikielekea Nairobi pia. I'm coming to save you and I'm coming to help you. So at that moment it's like, yes, nimepata the help that I wanted, but now it's coming down to, wait a damn minute, what am I going to do? Hii pesa yote, almost 150,000, how am I supposed to take care of it? Nani atanielewa? Everyone mwenye nimeomba pesa, my mom, my friends, my workmates, my best friend, my roommate, everyone mwenye nilikuwa nimeomba pesa, how am I supposed to break the news to them that all this was just a lie? How do I start even narrating the whole story? Because the only way people are going to believe is if nianze the story from scratch and tell them how it happened. How do I start reliving that moment to every person that makes the call to me? How was I supposed to do that? I was stressed out. The only thing yenye ilikuwa inani keep saying was the fact that tulikuwa njiani, tulikuwa na kina Laban and some more workmates there, and tukiwa kwa gari, at least I could distract myself. But the things that were running in my head, the thoughts, the disappointment in myself, everything was just too much, and it was just draining me tukiwa kwa hiyo safari. So when we were on the way, this guy ananitext tena, ile gari yangu alinidanganya kwamba nimenunuliwa. You know, Christabel told me it's a surprise. So this guy tells me that ile surprise yako iko hapo TRM and Muthoni Drama Queen, and this guy pretends that I do ni nani, but I had interviewed Muthoni Drama Queen tukiwa bado pamoja, so it's like he knew obviously mwenye nimeinterview. So kwa like Muthoni Drama Queen amepiga simu anataka gari, kwa hivyo we need about 3,000 ya kutoa gari TRM, ndio tumpatia, atatupatia 150k after that. So I'm like, wow, so we are still doing this but my dad told me to pretend that I don't know, nijifanye mjinga. So mimi nikamwambia hiyo doa yake sina, hata hatujalipwa, hatukufanya show, sijui venye kulienda, hatukulipwa. Because I remember that day when I went there, I couldn't even do the show. Niliwaambia I'm not in the right minds to do anything, please pardon me and forgive me. So nimwambia mimi sina kitu chochote. Then sasa tukiendaenda kidogo the mom text me and anambia I think this guy started realizing that kuna vile mbona na oppose kila kitu. Why am I saying no to everything? Why am I refusing? Mbona. Sasa ikakuwa anasema ati sasa fanya aje? The mom anasema ati nataka hii weekend mkuje mvisit shosho yenu. Shosho sasa the mother to the mother now, you side ya J. Ati nataka mkuje mvisit, unajua imekuwa muda hajakuja home, kesi zimeisha sasa, lawyer wa J ametolewa pia, everything is going to be okay, so tuta move in kwa hiyo nyumba yenye nilikuwa nimepaint, everything is okay, everything is going to go well, and absolutely that I don't need to stress about anything. So tukiwa hapo njiani ndio sasa nikakuwa najiuliza msi anawezaje kunitext, and I was like probably ni yeye ndio ana text, probably ni yeye ndio anaongea na yeye. So till safari yote Jay is like pia alikuwa ameanza ku get nervous. He will text me a lot, like the mom is texting me, the sister Christabel is texting me on this side. Oh actually Christabel told me that I may lose job yake, because I was like mbona usiombe Christabel do, and she's an air hostess. And then alisema kwamba Christabel ati she tells me that alishikwa na weed in town, so wamempokonya hiyo license yake ya kufanya kazi. So that's why she didn't have money and now she can't work anymore. I remember being so sad and comforting her, but I was like, okay, too bad. Mbona naye alikuwa anatembea na weed town. So this mom ananitext, so bado tunakaribia Nairobi. So when we got there, I remember the place I went to was Mama Alicia's place. Nilienda kwake nikamwambia, can you please house me kidogo tu for a few hours before my dad arrives. So when my dad arrived, tukaenda police station kwanza, nikaandikisha statement, and I think that was the most difficult thing, like writing that whole story down. Oh my goodness, it was so draining, it was frustrating, it was crazy. Kuanza tu kurelive story tena unaandikia polisi, umeandika page ya kwanza unawaambia nipe page ya pili, page ya tatu, you're still writing the plot, everything that this guy did umeziandika. So when my dad got there, tukaenda na mapolisi mpaka kwa nyumba. So the door knock vizuri, mlango ikafunguliwa, the guy was just there sitting in my red sweatpants and a t-shirt, laptop kwenye lap yake, and of course kasimu kake kalikuwa kadogo, very little phone, very portable, very nice little phone. So I noticed akijaribu kuifinya ni kama anajaribu kuizima. So like I was like obviously and I tried to hide some kind of evidence. You know, nilikuwa naongea naye hapo kwa WhatsApp au kwa text. So we get there and my dad was filming. Alikuwa ni kama anatetemeka hivi like mazee, I don't know, it was crazy. So my dad even was telling the police officers, mimi msiponishika ni mimi mtakuwa mnaingiza police station. Juu it was like ni ruhusu tu dakika 2 nipige makofi, like my dad was so mad. And I remember standing there and I was so numb, like ushe kwa ile situation yenye you don't know what to feel. Hujui ukasirike, hujui ufanye nini, you're just there standing and doing nothing, just staring into space, wondering what is this? Am I dreaming? Can somebody just wake me up? Like, that was the stage that I was. So tukiwa kwa gari, safari yote nilikuwa tu nimenyamaza. I'm just looking at like this far, like say 1 whole month imeisha. Niko na madeni 150k plus, like I am confused. I don't even know what to do. So tumefika police station, msee anaingizwa hapo ndani. Then I remember him telling my dad ati nilifika place yenyewe nikapenda huyu msichana. Kofi yenye aliekelewa na babangu sidhani hata aliwahi recover hiyo mashavu juu. Ni ile kofi unasikia ting. It was that coffee that leaves your head aching, you know. My dad was really mad. He was fuming. So when tulifika kwa nyumba sasa, it was tough because sasa mimi mwenyewe niko na carpet sitter. I remember my dad had to sleep on my carpet. Nilipatia tu kapilo akalala chini. And I remember not even being able to sleep. Aliangalia nyumba na niliza ni hata hauna shopping. Hata chumvi hakuna kwa nyumba, hata sukari. I was wondering, how are you even surviving? I told him, I don't know. I'm just alive by the grace of God. I have no idea. So I remember alitimiza pia yeye. I'm even the one who showed him venye anaweza kopa pesa. So alikopa pesa na hiyo app yenye mimi nilikuwa naitumia so that achukue loan kadogo anifanyie shopping ya nyumba. So we went with him to a supermarket. He took some foodstuffs, unga nini, kamchele. Then akaniambia sasa rumande walituambia itakaa for 4 months. So it was 4 months. I have to wait for 4 good months before justice is served. What am I supposed to be doing in these 4 months? Like each day what is it even supposed to feel like for 4 good months? That's so many. That's 120 days of misery, literally. So when my dad left, I think those were the toughest days of my life because nilikuwa natoka job hivi and everyone is asking kwani kuliendaje, mbona uende majuu, tala wameni-embarrass kazini. They've come there and they're like, hey, wewe msichana, tunataka pesa yetu. Ulikopa pesa, ulikopa 9,000, umeendaje? Hujalipa mpaka saizi imepile. Pesa ilikuwa tu ina pile like loans zenye hata zilikuwa za 3k zilikuwa zimefika 10k. It was crazy. So and now forget about the loans that mimi ndio na stressika. Loans zenye ni watu wenye na nini na have kulipa sasa, watu wenye sana nilikopa and I have to pay them. That right there was the hardest because I remember that same night when my dad left, when I head over to weekend, nilikuwa na arrears za 2 months sijalipa rent. So that day is when I called my best friend and I was trying to explain to her what happened to me. I'm trying to tell her like, manze hivi ndio kulienda. And I remember her not believing me and she was like, Isaiah, what do you mean? As in atiaje? She's like, I'm sorry for what you went through, manze. Like, and then at that moment you're like, is that all? Like, that's all you can say. Like, hauna anything else ya kuniambia? Like, you know, you would expect that people would be more like waelewe what you're really going through, but it's like nobody really got it. I remember nilikuwa nakaa kwa balcony hivi. I was on the 5th floor and I was looking down and I'm like, if I throw myself and die, that means that sita have kulipa hizi madeni zote. At that time I'm so young. I'm just starting off my career. I have no money, I have nothing. I have nobody, I have no friends, workmates, they are all against me. It's like everything was just tough and it just got really crazy to the point that you're even contemplating killing yourself because you feel like maybe if I do this, maybe I would relieve the burden off of my parents. I remember thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? Maybe they won't have to spend that much on my burial as they would have to spend on trying to help me pay all of these debts. It was a crazy experience because at that moment, when you try to talk to people, when you try to explain to them what happened, some of them will just laugh at you. They'll be like, hey, wewe ni mjinga, kwani uliwekewa nini? Like, imagine hakuna kitu niliwekewa. I thought I was in love with someone. I thought I was really invested in loving them. And I remember when my mom called and she knew about now everything that had happened. I remember her wondering like, hii pesa yote, saizi hata hatuna do. Saizi hata fees tunang'ang'ana. Saizi hata chakula imekuwa ni shida because we have given you everything that we have, and saizi unatuambia that it was fake. Someone just literally took advantage of you all that time. Yeah, so it was sorry. It's like someone literally did that to you for all that time and you could not even see it. And I remember even asking myself the same questions like, mbona hata mimi sikuwa naona? Why couldn't I see what this guy was doing? Why didn't I get it from the word go? Mbona sikujitoa kwa hiyo situation much sooner than I let it damage me, frustrate me? And I think the worst part was knowing that this guy, he's just a normal person mwenye hata probably hata hakuenda shule, but they were able to really do it to me like ile yani siku hata naona, siku hata na get it, siku hata na understand that hey, open your eyes. I thought nilidhani nimerogwa, nilidhani maybe aliniwekea kitu kwa food, maybe alikuwa ananifulizia kitu. I couldn't really understand how I would have done that to my own self. And I think recovering from that was one of the toughest things because I didn't have anyone else but my family. It's only my mom, my dad, and my sisters that reminded me that, you know what, you have a reason to live again. You have a reason to still be strong and do what you need to do in life. In order to succeed, you're going to face challenges, but why was my own this difficult? Why was my own this terrible? Yani, I remember asking myself so many questions that I didn't even have the answers to. You're like, so nitafukuzwa kwa nyumba. How am I supposed to afford my everyday meals? How am I supposed to live knowing that this guy is just somewhere and knowing what they are going to do is nothing but just relax and wait to see how it happens? Well, I would say that it wasn't that much of a good experience because just like gold, it has to go through so much for it to be refined. So this experience mazee kutoka hiyo siku 3 years down the line sijawahi koniwa tena. Like mse hata ajaribu hivi, I'm always very skeptical, not in a bad way, but I always ask for evidence. You know, I ask questions. I'm not afraid to ask questions, especially when it comes to something that involves giving out your money. Hiyo kukua yani na hiyo woga imenisaidia sana to get out of so many situations that would have brought me down or also taken away from my finances without me knowing mse anatumia njia gani. And I'm happy to be wearing this t-shirt today because I am bold enough, and I do hope that my story may not be your story, but will definitely help you in one way or another to know when someone is not right and when someone is not really saying the truth.